Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. We got the makings of what appears like another bloody day in the crypto markets. Bitcoin drooping and drooping pretty hard. The panic, the fear starting to set in. We didn't even get a substantial bounce into the 40s, and here we are now swirling in the bowl, ready for the big final flush. How is this whole thing gonna go down? Are we gonna need a plunger? Are we going to need life support? Are we gonna need to talk some people off the edge? This is, of course, the #1 channel that brings you your favorite TA, your news, and so much more on a daily basis. 2-hour daily live streams. We're back, and we're here to bring you whatever support I guess you're going to require to get through this next leg down, because I mean it sure looks imminent. And to discuss all of this exciting market action, all this seeming bearishness engulfing the space, we have two of our analysts with us here. Let's hear from lead analyst Alex first. Alex, how you doing, my man?
I am doing pretty well, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. And Jason, my man, what's popping?
Not too much. I mean, definitely had better days in the sense of trading. I apologize to some of the group just out there because we're getting a couple string of losers here, which sucks. But at the same time, we are still hedged, which is covering it. But I mean, the markets are hard to trade right now. I mean, we did think that we'd get that little reprieve up into the 40s, but it doesn't seem like we're going to get it from here, does it?
Right now, unless we get an epic reversal, no, I guess it failed, and it's disappointing. It really is. I was hoping to at least have that bottom feeder complete. You know, didn't even seem like that tall of an order. You know, it was like what 40 and a half.
40,313.
Yeah, we didn't even get up there. Of course, the market's rattled. There's blood in the water, and the sharks. I think the sharks can tell that. There's a perfect opportunity to take this market down. Panic is real, guys, and what, of course, some top-tier FUD continues to pile into the space. Guys, the FUD is real. Yesterday, of course, we had the Trump FUD. Trump, of course, you know, his comments seem to have circled the globe, talking about how he thinks Bitcoin's a scam. And since then, well, we had a couple other FUD items coming through. First, we have the Colonial Pipeline story. We're going to get into that when we get to the news in a short bit. But, you know, the feds announced that they seized a part of the ransom that was paid to the pipeline attackers. So that sent ripples through the space. I don't know if you know, if it was so much even so much crypto-oriented ripples, but normies, the wider world, they took this as, I mean, I can't tell you how many comments I read yesterday. Oh, the feds, they cracked Bitcoin. The feds control Bitcoin. They can reverse transactions now. Man, the amount of misinformation, misconceptions out there is wild, but of course, I suspect some of it might be even fueling the current sell-off. It kind of all coincides together. Does the news make the chart patterns or the market action? I don't know, but at the moment, plenty of fuel to pour on this fire. Plenty of people probably who rode out this last bit really have the panic setting in now. Will we, you know, next stop seems to be, I think, 25K after that. Probably going to touch 20K, 1999. 9, yes, I have a feeling we very well might, but I guess that remains to be seen. Could still see a bit of a epic reversal in Jericho. We're going to cover all this and more, so let's get right into it, guys. You know how these 2 hours goes down. In this first half of the show, we're going to cover a bit of price action, recap the blood in the streets. Then we're going to get into the news before we go ahead and we shout out everybody in the audience. Then we're going to get into Alex's main analysis of crypto and wider markets before we get into the second hour, where we'll be covering any questions, any chart requests. The AMA section comes your way in just about an hour. All right, let's get right into it. Let's recap what's been happening. All right, Bitcoin, of course, on seemed just last week, broke through the daily baseline. Figured you might get a decent impulse there, but we didn't. We rejected. That was the best that we were going to get, apparently. And here we are. We got dumped into pretty hard. We are down from just late last week, down to almost 20% on the day. Of course, we are down nearly 5%, and we did hit a low of $31,031 on Bybit, and here we are currently just a bit above 32K. Will 30K hold? Will this 30K support hold? 3 bottoms. If today pulls out of this tailspin, we'll have had you know, 3 pretty distinct taps of the lower 30s, and makes you wonder, will we make it through today? Will we make it through today with any further selling? That's what I wonder, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Of course, today is going to, if we do close anything like this will be a full close below the daily baseline again, signaling maybe for another shorting opportunity, although this seems kind of dangerous to short it this low. Man, makes you wish you were hedged, you know, back a couple weeks ago, don't you? Shout outs to, of course, Jason for hedging up like a boss. All right.
Definitely making the string of the couple losing trades that we've had a lot more tolerable with the hedge on, for sure.
Yeah. Well, this market is choppy, and yeah, it takes no prisoners. It's do or die out here. Of course, we are soldiers fighting in the trenches of crypto. You gotta expect it's not always gonna be a winning battle, or a pretty one at that. So, of course, condolences to anybody feeling the pressure right now. Don't get wrecked. Don't get shaken. There's always, there's always tomorrow, and of course, many, if you're anything like me, many of us suspect we still very well go on to continue this bullish rally sometime later this year. But in the meantime, the trick is not to lose your lunch or your shirt, I guess. In this case, here's a look at Ethereum. Yep, Ethereum down. Let's have a look here. Nearly 8% on the day. Went as low as 2302. Brutal. Ethereum, on my minks at least, signaling for a full short on today's candle. If it closes anything like this, Ethereum shortable. We'll discuss that topic a little later. Let's have a look. What's going on with EOS? EOS currently at $4.80. Droopy like everything else. Even starting to build a little bit of WADA momentum to the downside. Rest in peace, EOS, I guess. All right. How about Doge? What's Doge up to? 32 cents. Looking quite a bit like the Bitcoin chart pattern. When is the bottom going to fall out for this doggy? We are going to be probably watching it happen live. I'm guessing it will be epic. We caught some epic moves to the upside live on the show. I'm wondering if I'll get to see Doge crash and burn live on the show sometime this month. Let's see here. Link currently at $22. Looking like damn near everything else. Not much to say about Link there. XRP, yes, XRP got dunked on pretty hard. Currently at 83 cents. Scratch what I said about the dollar stablecoin XRP jokes. I think this one is done for. All right, let's keep hyping up the pain in the markets today. $20 Polkadot. Kind of droopy, did drop below 20 today. Man, a lot of these charts look about the same, and of course Bitcoin will likely lead any move from here. If I were to guess, full short signal on yesterday's Polkadot close. We definitely had no WADA in there, but things look droopy. Are you brave enough to short this market here? I guess you should have been hedged or short this stuff weeks ago when our analysts were saying get out now. Here's a look at Kusama. Surprisingly, one of the more bullish outlier, one of the more bullish plays in that last week of price action. Poked its head out above the baseline. WADA looking a little greener than the rest. Even Minx kind of pulled up over the zero, but here we are crashing, currently at right on support of the baseline, if you want to call it that. $373 Kusama. Will it be able to hold the line here, or will suffer a similar fate as the rest of the coins in this summer, the famous 2021 summer crypto massacre? At least on the bright side, at least you will tell your kids you lived through this epic moment in crypto history where Elon, Trump, the feds, you name it, came out and crashed your beloved portfolio. MATIC looked so strong just a couple of weeks ago, and here we are, $1.38, slowly bleeding out. MATIC building a lot of negative momentum on WADA. I guess it would have been prescient to have maybe sold this rally here amidst the bearishness. Now it feels a little too late. Currently $1.37. All right, BNB, same deal. Looking a bit like some of these other losers that failed to get up and above. I really should have taken the opportunity to sold my BNB up here when we bounced up to the $430 mark. Currently hanging around right here outside the Keltner channel. Seems like some baseline support, but alas, even with the baseline, Minx.
Hold on, we gotta ban this asshole over here on Twitch.
Oh, do we now? What's he offering? What's he selling? Anything in particular? What was his transgression?
Long ass spam message.
Oh, all right. Well, nuke him from orbit if you have to. You have the Thor's hammer. You bring it down. Same goes for any other mods in here. Feel free to clean up. You know how we do it editorially around here, guys. All right, there's your look at BNB. Finally, Uniswap token. Yeah, it held the baseline support, but here we are closing below it. Man, but there isn't a lot of WADA on much of these coins. I noticed the volume really isn't there to confirm at least any initial shorts. Maybe I should have done it much earlier. Again, weeks ago was apparently where you wanted to have been positioned for all of this mess. Look at Cardano real quick, guys, before we wrap this segment up. $1.48. Cardano Mink signaled for a full-on short yesterday, and even the WADA is starting to pick up now. All right, here's a look at the GME stock, because the Wall Street Bets GME phenomenon seen a bit of a resurgence in the last week or two, and yeah, today's candle hit a high of $340-ish, kind of flirting with previous all-time highs on this GME phenomenon. Currently down, wow, about 15% from the peak of today's price action at $302. Is this whole this thing topping out as well? Here's a look at AMC. AMC, of course, hit all-time highs. Well, is it all-time highs? Either way, amidst this whole flurry of Wall Street Bets activity, these are the highs, right around $73 a couple days ago. Got sold into a little bit, but picking back up nonetheless at $55. Got to keep my eye on this Wall Street Bets thing. The story isn't over yet, surprisingly. It somehow isn't over. The short squeeze for the ages is still going. You know, is this thing still gonna roost? Come home to roost amidst some market panic or disaster coming to traditionals?
How much will this thing do?
I mean, there seems like there's still plenty left in the tank to disrupt. You know, are there still hedge funds out there that are waiting to collapse once this AMC and GME drama finally plays itself out? Is that what's still waiting to happen? Are we still going to hear Biden come onto the airwaves later this year and tell us how the Reddit people and the crypto people crashed markets everywhere thanks to their irresponsibilities? Yeah, I guess I guess it's still not out of the question yet. Of course, that was a bit of the narrative when this whole Wall Street Bets thing started brewing. But guys, that's it for now. Let's get into the next segment. Let's check in with Bubbles, and this one should be brief because it's just blood. It's bloody and it's uniform, double digits across the board. Pretty much majority of the tokens you see in front of you here on Bubbles are down about 10 to 15, some as much as nearly 20%. Wow, this last sell-off really did sweep the board, and alts everywhere, bloody as hell. A couple outliers though. The Leo token, the Bitfinex, I guess exchange token, up, I guess, a few points, up 10%, not bad, up 10%, currently at 266. What's this? Is this T-Fuel? Yep, T-Fuel.
Is that what's up in that top right corner?
That's T-Fuel up in the top right corner. I'm not sure how many percent this is, but currently at 55 cents. So T-Fuel bucking the trend ever so marginally, along with whatever this is, C-Dye. But everything else, guys, what can I say? My condolences to anybody feeling the burn today with the selling pressure mounting. It's not pretty, but you know, how many times have you panicked, ducked, and covered in fear on a bloody day in the markets just to wake up the very next day, 24 hours later? Turns out all this 10-20% down was a great buying opportunity. Of course, this might not be the case this time. This isn't trading advice, but wouldn't it feel so appropriate for this Tuesday meltdown to just be another fake out? This is where we will get the pump. This is where we get the epic pump to 40 or 45k in Bitcoin, faking everybody out, thinking, oh, that was it, that was the final flush, just to come crashing down by next week. Come on, baby, do something exciting. You know, it's like that meme with the guy poking the stick, poking the whatever with the stick. You know, come on, do something, Bitcoin. That's how I feel. You know, do something interesting. Give us a fat Jericho candle, and then lay everybody out.
Bitcoin is doing something. You're just like not that thing.
Yeah.
Do something more interesting to me.
Yep. All right. There's your look at the bubbles. Let's get into the news segment, guys. Then we'll get into the live chat. Shout everyone out. All right.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, Chris. You're asking what app are we showing? This is TradingView on the left. This is where we do our charting. You go ahead, Jack. That's all.
You're good.
Indeed, thank you, sir. I was muted actually, but yep, the one here in the bottom left is Trading View. If that's what you're referring to. This is my Trading View window. Of course, it has some of the cracking cryptocurrency proprietary indicators on there. If you click the indicator tab on Trading View and type in keyword cracking, many of our indicators come up, ones that we've developed here at CC, along with kind of strategies and supplemental material on how to use them. Yeah, just search keyword cracking, and we have some free ones. We have some private ones as well for our premium members. If you're asking about this top window, it's bubbles. All right, so let's get into the news, guys. All right, this was just a headline I wanted to feature, but let's get into the meat of it. Bitcoin Reddit subscribers surpassed 3 million to rank 113th subreddit globally. Yes, Bitcoin subreddit today hitting a bit of a milestone, 3 million subscribers. I'm guessing this recent influx is mostly normies and others panicked, wondering what's going on. I gotta log on to crypto Reddit or Bitcoin Reddit and inquire as to why the bottom is falling out. Is it all over? Is it true? Is the energy FUD true? I imagine is where a lot of threads are going today. Just wanted to mention that. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but maybe indeed on a day like this, people are scrambling, looking for answers. What's going on with Bitcoin? What's going on with the market? Is it true that the feds hacked Bitcoin? Probably why we're seeing this influx of r/Bitcoin's popularity. All right. Let's get into the next segment, or next news item here. IRS Commissioner asks Congress for the authority to regulate crypto. Yes, this is likely one of the stories being cited today as fueling the sell-off, fueling the FUD. In this case, let's read on here. In the hearing before the Senate Financial Committee, IRS Commissioner Charles... Sorry?
It said it might rain. Did you hear that thunder?
I didn't, but it's pretty overcast where I am. Today's an ugly day in the markets, and I guess in the local weather where Alex is and where I am. It's gonna rain tears of the hodlers, of the people who didn't sell.
Is Bitcoin dumping where you are too?
No, I'm in an alternate timeline that's actually pulling out of its tailspin right now. Lambo order is getting placed any minute. In a hearing before the Senate Financial Committee, IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig asked for explicit congressional authority to regulate cryptocurrencies, responding to a question from Senator Portman from Ohio about whether or not the IRS currently has enough authority to regulate crypto. Rettig said, "I think we need congressional authority." That's right. Congress, you got to step up, give these guys the tools they need. Apparently, he continued, we get challenged frequently, and we have to have a clear dictate from Congress on the authority of us to collect that information, and it's critical. And the most recent market cap in the world, in the crypto world, exceeded $2 trillion and more than 8,600 exchanges worldwide. And by design, most crypto virtual currencies are designed to stay off the radar screen. So we will be challenged. Yes, they currently are between the $2 trillion market cap and 8,600 exchanges worldwide. I guess they're crying that they're woefully, undertooled for this particular job. Under Rettig, Trump appointee, of course, the IRS has issued a John Doe summonses as a way of gleaning information about U.S. taxpayers who use cryptocurrencies. But Rettig claims the agency's efforts are often challenged internally. The market cap of crypto hit, of course, $2 trillion in April. Price of Bitcoin was $60K, but it's sunk back down to about $1.5 trillion. And Reddick again reiterated, we do need additional tools, and we absolutely need additional resources. So here we go, guys. IRS Commissioner lobbying Congress, saying we need more resources. Have to get into the crypto people's wallets. Got to figure out what's going on out there, guys.
I mean, isn't the IRS already taxing crypto? Like, what more do they want? What more do you want from us?
I don't know. It's a curious matter. You know, maybe more, you know, more leeway to like pursue these things internationally. You know, part of crypto is that it's, you know, it's kind of borderless. The exchange is relatively international, operating in you know, safe haven states. You know, maybe they're recognizing that's part of the issue. They need more power. It's one thing to have their own compliant Coinbase offices or Kraken offices. It's probably another in terms of how much reach they have internationally into some of these other exchanges. So I don't know. Maybe they, you know, they still have a budget to go after crypto. They still work with the major analytics companies, but apparently they need more. All right, Polkadot founder Gavin Wood wrote in the blog post that Kusama is ready to host parachain slot auctions. Kusama will host parachains before auctions go live on Polkadot. The auctions will last for 5 weeks and determine which project gets to operate a parachain on the Canary network. All right, guys. Well, the Polkadot. The Polkadot blockchain, I guess, along with the promise of bringing these parachains, these side chains of sorts, to the network, is coming ever closer. And of course, their more test bed network, Kusama, I guess, is going to have its auctions go live soon, and which of course signals for Polkadot hitting this kind of monumental moment in its development. Parachain auctions on Polkadot's Canary network. Kusama will begin June 15th. The project founder Gavin Wood wrote, both Polkadot and Kusama are trying to create an interoperable network of 100 parachains plugged into a central relay chain. Kusama is an identical network, of course, except its rules to function as a test network and experiment with various technology features before they're rolled out onto Polkadot. Parachains will host different decentralized apps that can simultaneously interact with one another through the relay chain. There you go. There's just a little recap on how this works. And yeah, parachain slots might be getting filled on Kusama in the near future, beginning June 15th. And you can expect just slowly to transition over to Polkadot as well. Polkadot will have its parachain auctions go live later this year if everything goes according to plan. So good things continuing to happen at Polkadot and Kusama. All right, let's check in with MicroStrategy next. We discussed this yesterday. MicroStrategy, of course, wanted to increase its debt for Bitcoin offering, or actually wanted to present a debt for Bitcoin offering. They wanted to raise $400 million in order to, I guess, continue buying the dip on Bitcoin. A little update today. They're now increasing that by an extra $100 million. Michael Saylor helmed business intelligence firm MicroStrategy said that it would offer $400 million yesterday. It's now $500 million today. So yes, they are apparently looking for investors. Of course, they are getting slammed. They currently, MicroStrategy expecting to log a mammoth impairment loss of $284 million. The largest crypto is currently trading, blah, 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 blah. Yes, so just, you know, if you're wondering, MicroStrategy, are they buying the dip? Yes, apparently they're looking to buy it even harder than they were ostensibly yesterday. All right. Let's have a look here. Speaking of parachains of sorts, Ripple has just proposed a new strategy that will strikingly advance XRP as we know it. Let's see here. Ripple has published a proposal to include federated sidechains that will be connected to the XRP ledger. The idea is that each sidechain would operate as its own blockchain, thus helping preserve XRP's leanness and efficiency for cross-border payments. They posted the CTO over at Ripple, David Schwartz, posted in a blog post indicating that developers that contribute to the XRP network have been increasingly or incessantly requesting the smart contract feature as a result of the flourishing decentralized finance sector. But for Ripple execs, maintaining the high efficiency of XRP ledger is key. As such, he proposed a federated sidechain model that will allow developers to implement new features while keeping the ledger secure and efficient. The sidechains will have their own ledger and transactions, just like XRP. This means that the sidechains will expand the functionality of the XRP ecosystem by providing interoperability of native smart contracts, other improvement cases, blah, 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 blah. All right, so looks like XRP...
So I guess now people can continue not using XRP off-chain.
Yep.
An interesting idea nonetheless here. XRP looking to expand. The CTO proposing this particular idea on how to, without actually burdening the main net with all this extra activity, of course, smart contract functionality and side chains for kind of like specific apps. Would kind of give your cake and let you eat it too. Kind of ostensibly kind of similar to how Polkadot, we just mentioned, it functions with its own parachain kind of architecture, at least on the surface, kind of similar, analogous to Polkadot and how they do it over there. So is apparently not really doing much for XRP's price, but there you go, guys. XRP proposing a new strategy. Will XRP become a beloved chain, attracting development and even DeFi to it, thanks to, well, again, this is just a proposal, so this is still pretty pie in the sky, but it would be interesting to see that XRP actually brings something new to the table. Let's see here, doing on time, doing okay. All right, here's the main story I really wanted to get into today, and that is US seizes $2.3 million in Bitcoin from the Colonial Pipeline hackers. The FBI has recovered more than half of the Bitcoin ransom paid out to the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attackers. U.S. officials have reportedly successfully recovered more than half of the ransom. FBI believes the hackers are linked to a Russia-based ransomware group, DarkSide. The U.S. has seized the Bitcoin. Department of Justice announced that more than half of the $4.4 million ransom paid out to Colonial Pipeline has been recovered on Monday. The incident, of course, paralyzed the southern U.S. states and caused a huge disruption due to gas shortages. Biden called it a state of emergency following the events. The FBI concluded that...
But remember, the gas shortages were actually caused because the company refused to sell the gas because their billing system was shut down. They didn't touch the pipeline whatsoever. The ransomware only worked against the billing system of the company.
Precisely. It's disappointing to think that they could have, continued operations. Like, surely you can still
patriotic and figured out another way to sell gasoline to gasoline needing Americans.
Yeah, completely. I think this is one case where you maybe had some emergency executive order drafted where government would have compensated them for every drop that they would have distributed without having been properly billed and reimbursed. So it's disappointing that it went down this way. The whole thing stinks, and now more than ever, with this Bitcoin being recovered, a lot of questions are circulating. I'll get to them very shortly, but let's see here. So they did say this Russian group DarkSide was, or someone affiliated to them, was responsible. Since then, the DOJ announced they'd give the same priority level to ransomware as it does terrorism in the future. This newly created ransomware and digital extortion task force will coordinate the response to sell all ransomware and cyber attacks in the country from Washington. The news that the FBI recovered Bitcoin sent fear into the markets, excuse me, with some believing that the service could hack the Bitcoin network. In fact, FBI agents managed...
I just don't see it as a cause for the markets dumping. I mean, I didn't know they were going to release this news yesterday, but yesterday I told you, hey guys, the market's probably dumping because we got rejected. it's a nice narrative, but journalists don't understand the markets well enough to be like, oh, here's why the market's dumping. It's pure speculation on their part. It's not really something they understand.
I completely agree. Go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say it's always speculation, because even when these stories come out, even if there's something else that appears to be a catalyst or whatever, it's not like they go back into these months later and be like, yep, we were right? They're just talking about what could be causing right now. Like, it's all FUD, in my opinion.
Yep, this is top tier FUD, and it's spread like wildfire. Of course, Bitcoin, one of its, especially as far as normies are concerned, it's one of its primo features is that, it's used by dark web criminals, it's untraceable, it's, it can't be hacked, it can't be reversed, and,
If criminals can't even use Bitcoin, then what's the point?
Exactly. Yes. Precisely. That's well, not just that, but it's like, how safe are you in this unconfiscatable digital gold if the feds can go, seemingly steal the Bitcoin back from these Russian hackers, right? So a lot of people were, at least especially a lot of normies, were like, well, this is it. This proves the FBI can crack Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not secure. Bitcoin can be easily hacked. I saw wild theories going as far as saying Bitcoin itself was developed and released by the feds. They have secret backdoors into everything, including Bitcoin. Blah 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 blah. A lot of bullshit claims. Yeah. But of course, there is the big question here: how exactly did they get their hands back on this Bitcoin, right? I don't think it's likely that they actually compromised the chain, the blockchain itself or the protocol itself. But let's read what little we know about this matter. FBI agents managed to use a block explorer to track the transactions and figure out the public address where the ransom Bitcoin was stored. The FBI then used a warrant to claim the 63.7 Bitcoin in that address to the exchange or custodian storing the Bitcoin. The on-chain Bitcoin address linked to the Colonial Pipeline ransom wasn't hacked. Once the FBI figured out the public key by analyzing on-chain data, it linked that public key to a certain custodian. The custodian of the address was asked to share the private key. As the popular crypto saying goes, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. All right, good. So it looks like today a few more blanks got filled in because late last night some of this was very ambiguous, but indeed this is about what I estimated occurred. All right, so first thing we need to know is that the hackers or the developers, the dark web criminals who developed this ransomware software, they kind of like lease it out. They lease it out to other nefarious criminals in the space, bad actors. DarkSide themselves, I don't think coordinated or performed this attack on the pipeline. Somebody that they gave the software to, or licensed the software to, so to speak, did that. So it's unclear whether or not these Russian-based DarkSide guys gave it to another set of Russian cyber criminals, right?
I was reading some conspiracy sites, and the theorists say that the actual hacker groups that there are like, we don't know who this DarkSide is. It's not like actually a real hacker group, and so it's actually a CIA operation to kind of make cryptocurrencies look bad, and also let's blame the Russians. We could put more sanctions on the Russians, that sort of thing.
Well, you cut certainly straight to the chase.
Why not? I mean, we're talking about hacking groups and stuff here, so...
Well, that is indeed the most wild of the conspiracy theories, that this whole thing was just a false flag of sorts, an inside job that including the DarkSide itself, or an informant or someone they have embedded in the DarkSide group. The whole thing itself might just be a CIA front op, much like how they run other destabilization. Go ahead.
We really didn't stay away from difficult topics on YouTube for very long, did we?
No, we certainly didn't. But that's why I'm going to. That's the extreme.
We all know why we got taken down, guys. Sorry about that.
But of course, that's like the more. That's the more extreme and conspiratorial angle to it. If we were to kind of go down the middle here, what can we say? Well, we can say that DarkSide gave the ransomware software to somebody. That somebody may not have been a very astute cyber criminal. Might have even been U.S. based, right? Maybe somebody who knows someone that works at Colonial Pipeline. Maybe this person themselves works at Colonial Pipeline and infected their own system, right? Again, a sort of a inside job, right? So say you're working at Colonial Pipelines, you can maybe embed this software in it, think you can make away with a nice score, you get your ransom. What do? You go deposit it on possibly Coinbase, because this is the big part of this story, is they issued a warrant, right? They figured out, they used the blockchain analytics, they tracked the transactions. Now, I heard including that they obviously tried to mix this Bitcoin, but guys, like, even if you try to mix Bitcoin, I imagine if they have the NSA and CipherTrace on your tail, they might be able to piece where the mixed Bitcoin went to. And in this case, they figured out the public address where the Bitcoin was stored. They used a warrant to claim that address to the exchange or custodian. So a custodian or an exchange ultimately was the one holding the crypto. And I mean, something tells me it wasn't Binance or KuCoin or some other foreign-based exchange. If they presented a warrant, they went to a judge, they got a court order saying, seize this address, this coin, we suspect you have it. Why do I have a feeling this might have been a US or Western-based exchange? And if it was in fact a US or Western-based exchange, would that mean that the criminals behind this were, maybe also based somewhere here in the US or in the West? That's the big one here. And if they did, I mean, how dumb are these guys? Like, were they not, you make away with, you're basically a national security threat here. You're officially public or online enemy number one for the U.S. government, and you send the proceeds of this heist to Coinbase to liquidate with your your KYC account, potentially. Kind of awkward, makes you wonder. I'm very curious to see where this goes, what more is revealed. I mean, they don't mention anybody in custody yet, but still, it's a very, very suspicious and unusual matter. But I'm glad some of it's been cleared up, because like I said, a lot of FUD circulating about how Bitcoin hacked, the feds have broken into Bitcoin, etc., etc. Not the case at all, and still incredible how many people think that Bitcoin is untraceable. So the fact that the FBI was able to trace the Bitcoin at all indicates they somehow have broken the protocol. Not the case at all. Of course, Bitcoin uses a public and very transparent ledger. None of the transactions themselves are encrypted, so to speak. So it's probably not too hard, even if they ran it through a mixer, to be tracked. So there you go, guys. There is your little update on the Colonial Pipeline and how the feds got their hands on the Bitcoin. Guys, if they can track you, and believe me, they can, even if you are a dark web criminal, you do your due diligence. When you become a national security threat on this level, guys, they will pull out all the stops. They will use all the tools in their basket to track you down if you make the mistake of being based somewhere in the West, in the US. Drop your coins in a public exchange or in private exchange. Guess they're gonna track you down. You've been warned. You've been warned, criminals. Pay your taxes. Be a good boy. Always follow all laws and local regulations. All right. I'd get into the final story, but we are out of time. I gotta dive into the next segment. Let's do it. Let's see who's with us today. Let's see what kind of comments are coming through the different chats today. All right, dear users of the live chat. Let's see who is here first. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh man, I pressed back by accident. I dumped the entire chat window.
Come on.
Ah, come on, man.
Big oof. I misclicked. I apologize, guys. Might have been a lot of great comments. I mean, I can still surf through the YouTube chat, I suppose. Let's take a brief look. In fact, I guess I could also look through the chat log. Let's just take a look here. Let's scroll up. Let's see here. Alex 1233. I've scrolled up on my DLive window. Apparently you were one of the first people in here. Shoutouts to Alex 1233. David Rice is with us today. I see a lot of talk about closing your positions here. Shoutouts to Anyword. Shoutouts to Chrisen TV on Twitch. Let's see here. Who else is with us? We have Dan. Dan on YouTube. Been a while, gents. How are you? Good. All right. Good to see you, Dan. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Beaten, battered, and dying, says David Rice. I can understand why. Peckham 08's with us. Shoutouts to Peckham 08. Let's see here. Profit Bear joins us on YouTube. I'm happy to see ICP below $100 now. How low can we go, he asks. Well, we'll look at ICP in a bit. Hold that thought. Let's see here. Look at all that money. Congress needs to tell us we can go get it, says Electric. Yeah, that's right. I guess the IRS is pointing their finger at a giant pile of money here in crypto land. Just give us the okay, they say, the Congress. We're going to go sweep it all up. FUD seems manufactured to drop the prices to get more normies in. I think it's to get normies out, but thank you, Upside Down, or Up Downside 77 on Twitch. Lots of Twitch users coming through lately. It's good to see the Twitch chat bouncing. Bflow's with us on YouTube. Tax it to the point where it's not worth it to own it. Yes, sadly, that might be the strategy here, but good luck with that. I don't think that's going to be a winning long-term strategy to defeat the rise of the cryptocurrencies. Bricks is with us, shouting out Kusama. Shoutouts to Bricks. Andrew Munns, man, you guys need to get up to speed on the taxation laws. All right, well, feel free to inform us on the taxation. They want to outlaw cryptographically encrypted files. Why would they want to tolerate an unauthorized currency? Kids die on battlefields over wars for bankers. Well, thank you, Mr. Epp. I'll call you Mr. Epp. And thank you for your insights. Welcome to the channel. Bricks, they didn't outlaw cryptography. No, but you can certainly imagine they would like to, right? Privacy might be a privilege that not everyone will get to enjoy one day in the future. I guess is the great risk to this all. You may need to be unmasked. In fact, we could be looking at a dangerous new internet. This is something that I think is being initially floated here in Canada. Internet ID laws that you will need to ID yourself before you'll even get access to the internet. As crazy as that sounds, they need to turn. The internet has been too much of the Wild West. It's been too free. You're going to have to start clamping down on who gets to log onto the internet and de-anonymize practically everybody. That's what I think they ultimately want. Let's pray that it never happens. Let's see here. Let's shout out a few more people and get right into the show. CryptoBull21 is with us. Is there a way to see your search history on TradingView? Not that I'm aware of. Let's see here. Brick says, no, banks need encryption. Many other services need to. Yeah, that's the thing, though. They might license encryption to certain entities, but then require that they, give access, I guess, to de-encrypt, kind of let the government authorities determine who they can de-anonymize, decrypt, so to speak. The entire internet is based on encrypted protocol. Yeah, it sure is, but again, I know this is a bit of a long one, but we cannot let that happen. Let's see here, guys. Let's see who else is with us today. Moblin, shoutouts to Moblin. Good to see you. They were too lazy to set up another billing system. Wow. Yeah, that was roughly what happened. Of course, it's really hard to reboot. You can't just set up billing, or I guess a whole new operations for all of your data center staff to just suddenly flip the switch like that. Electric, interesting how they're playing the narrative in the media, ignoring that it was a choice by the gas company to shut it down. Yeah, these kind of details are important, but they get lost because you know, people have the attention span of a goldfish. All you have to do is say scary Russian hackers, and people just lay down and accept the narrative whole hog.
It's also, our country is so corporation focused that, well, of course the company had to protect its profits. They couldn't have risked missing a single drop of the gasoline that they sold and have it not be charged for. That would just be ridiculous. No, it's much better. I mean, yeah, you could do that, but it's just like anathema to everything in America to force a corporation to do something for the good of everybody. How ridiculous!
Yeah, it's sure, it's simply disgusting, but this is the world we live in, right?
Why, if you could force companies to do things that were for the good of everybody, why, that would change everything.
Yeah. They'd be a completely different world.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't never advocate necessarily to force, you know, a company to do anything against their will. Just things that, you know, a good move, you know, from the leadership, from the oversight, from the board, would have been to approve. You know, like, guys, let's just keep the fuel going. We will square up with the recipients later. That would have been, I think, the honorable thing to do. But of course, yes, you know, they can't let a dollar go without getting billed out there to somebody. Greed rules all, even if it is could lead to potential disaster. How did they get the coins back? We just covered that. Anyword thinks it's a fake story. Let's see here. Without the miner that found the block that helps you. They obtained a warrant for the custodian of one of the keys. Indeed. Alright, so we are pretty much at the bottom of the chat. Moblin as well, I mentioned. Andrew Muntz. It's a slush fund for the CIA, says Andrew Muntz. You know, that's funny. But are you going to make, yes, you could make those illegal as well, blah, blah, blah. All right, I think here's Turkbot 117. Someone say lemons, Turkbot asks. Yes, dear Turkbot, the lemons will be coming a little later in the show. Stand by for those. But we got to get into the next part of the show, so I pretty much have to get into it now. Lots and lots of chatter regarding this story. I love it, guys. I'd love to read more of your comments, including Drips, Mr. Ether, Robert Warner's with us, and yeah, a few others. Rhino TD, thank you guys, and Marco T. All right, good. I've shouted out a good number of you guys. Thank you so much for your comments. Would love to explore more, but alas, we've already drawn this part of the show out. We got to get into the next part. Let's do it. Alex, if you don't mind going. Oh, he's already live. Let's connect to Alex's stream, everybody, and get into the meat of it. Currently looking at the BTC 4-hour chart. Perfect. I'm going to dive into the live chat, start extracting your requests. Guys, do me a big favor. If you already posted a request or a question, I kind of lost my entire chat log, as you saw. Please repost it now. It's going to make it so much easier for me to log all your requests. So I thank you, and I will be back. Alex, take it away.
Okay.
We were half right. On that swing.
Yeah, I kind of like this spot for taking profits on shorts, if you've been in a short, and maybe bouncing from here. This is really flushed out longs, gotten people to get short for a really big drop. Maybe. But I look at this and I see the retest of a lot of wicks and a lot of ranges on higher time frames. So we look here on the daily, and we've come back down here and we've pegged this order block that we've had marked out for months now. We had this area marked out all the way up here. Here we are again. Just come off, test the bottom once, twice, start to move up. We hit it again here. Potentially. I would wait to get, if I were you, I would wait to get some kind of 4-hour reversal signal off of time transformation here. Maybe even a higher time frame. Maybe you could wait for like a 12-hour cross up. Just something to make sure that you could have a low that you could put stop on the other side of. See what happens. I kind of like this for a reversal here. I know people got super bearish today. I don't know. I certainly didn't feel great this morning.
Yeah.
But let's look. So let's look at Ethereum here. Right now, if you think about it, this is a retest of the local point of control. This is previously this was an area of support that we had looked for and ended up not holding. Maybe. I don't know. It's not as a convincing an argument here on Ethereum. On Ethereum, you still see this volume. There's still some volume here in the 2200s and all the way down here at what is this? 1950? 1900? And also this order block we were looking at here on BitMEX chart, which was right around 2150, I think. Yeah. Right in here. We do have a support level here in what is this? Oh, the 50% retracement level. Well, no, that volume down here, 2100, still looks awfully tempting. So the question is, do we bounce here? I really feel, if you look at the volume on lower time frames here, sellers just look kind of exhausted in this spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have opportunities to continue carrying forward here, and they just can't. We'll see that on Bitcoin too. Sellers stepping really hard. And buyers take over right here. Sellers step in again. They can't make much headway. And then buyers make good headway here on very minimal volume, right? How are they making such headway on minimal volume? There's not a lot of sellers on the books. Everybody who wanted to sell has basically already probably sold at a higher price. So if there's not a lot of sellers, that means buyers can take over, even with just a little bit of low volume, and start getting momentum. So it's interesting here. See taking maybe a 15-minute long with like I said, just definitely no lower time frame stuff. Wait for some kind of 4-hour signal or higher.
Yeah.
Right. Unsurprisingly, Bitcoin dominance made some headway today. We see this really often when the market dumps. People tend to get stopped out of alts into Bitcoin, and also the alts being more volatile tend to lose more value than Bitcoin does. So overall, this ratio between Bitcoin and the alts, Bitcoin dominance, a percentage here, it rises. So earlier today it was up 0.5%, but markets recovered a little bit in the last couple hours, and that's caused it to pull back a little. But I still say that in this area we look more like we're forming some sort of long-term bottom rather than well, maybe not long-term bottom, but a mid-term bottom. I think we'll see them trade at parity for a little while before we see Bitcoin take off versus the alts, however it happens. So we'll just have to keep our eye on it. Uniswap perp, as you can see, we still actually have a lot of support levels below us here. This one in particular, Looks rather strong. You see it's support here. Boom, 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 boom. Support here. Boom. Come down one more retest. Seems feasible. Also, I gotta say, not a lot of selling volume comparatively. See selling really strong here. Sellers strong the whole way up. That was you know, a little bit of a giveaway if we look at the volume. And then sellers take over here. And here, where's the selling volume here? The real problem is there's just not a lot of buyers yet. Sellers are making headway without having to put in a lot of volume. Similar story here. You could view this entire area as support. In which case, okay, we're here, we're inside of it. But we're still at the support of the previous high. So resistance here, support here, push, 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 push. Break below support, fake out, pull back up, support. Support? Question mark? Not really sure, but I think there's a reasonable argument to be made here. This certainly feels like we could push a lot lower before finding support. See, this is all the way down here, so.
Just that has me thinking about that gap fill at 26K.
Let's look at that on the CME charts. People can see what you're talking about. So back in December of last year, Bitcoin gapped up on CME over the weekend from. This happened over. This is a Christmas gap. Look at these days. December 23rd, December 24th.
Boom. Merry Christmas to everyone. Bye, Bitcoin.
Yep, December 28th. Merry Christmas. Bitcoin was never below that price again, or was it? Is everybody gonna find coal underneath their stocking this summer? Sorry, a little bit of a Jack's introduction to the show joke. Very Jacky thing to say. Okay, so essentially, there's not much to say on the alts. That they all look very similar here. That there's room to move down. We see that there's still plenty of support below us. We don't necessarily have to worry that we're going to immediately slide straight into hell here, or at least I'm kind of hoping not. As you can see, all these markets right now are showing this lower time frame bounce that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what kind of legs it has. It's a 15-minute reversal, so I don't want to make too big of a deal of it, but we'll see what happens. What's the dollar doing today? The markets are rough, so the dollar must be doing well, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar's up. Well, the dollar is up today, but the good news is we do seem to be finding some resistance here on lower time frames. If we can continue to reject from the, what is this, the 91 level? $91 units, whatever you want to call them. Then maybe we can make new lows. Maybe we can, this could be like a little bit of a fake out, and we can move down. I decided to move my trend line. If you guys will remember, I previously had this drawn more like this, and then we had one here. Let's just get rid of this. We still got this broken downtrend right here. This works just fine for our purposes. There. So we still have this broken downtrend, but as you guys know, we can ride the other side of this for a little while. So maybe we can get more downside. That would give the markets a chance to breathe. Maybe we can bounce. I like that we have this lower time frame resistance. Let's hope it continues. All right, dollar up, markets down. What's the Dow Jones doing?
Down.
Yep. It looks like it actually had a really rough morning, but it has it's recovered pretty nicely. So as you know, yesterday we gapped up and just traded down all day long, and today we opened and then traded all day down all day too, with a little bit of a bounce in the last couple hours. Interestingly, NASDAQ was up today. So we gapped up on open and traded up for just a little bit this morning. I looked at it and I was surprised. It's like, oh my God, is the NASDAQ going to go for it here? But at least then we traded down for the rest of the day. And I think we're currently below yesterday's. No, we're just right around yesterday's close. Yeah, literally, we're right at it. Maybe we could see a little bit more upside on the NASDAQ here. Just push more into this area of resistance. Push, 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 push. Right now, you definitely would be wishing that there was just more momentum. This is a very critical resistance level. We need to take it and hold it. And then the S&P up, but barely, I guess. An argument can be made that we're above resistance here. So consider this high right here. It's high of 422. We reject here, fall below it. Here we close above 522. Close above it. Close above it again today. Interesting. I would consider us still at resistance for right now. Just do something a little bit more convincing, S&P, then we'll talk. Gold continuing to find resistance in this area. This is kind of what we've been expecting. Silver, below the daily baseline, continues to look really droopy. This is also kind of what we've been expecting. The 3-day looking pretty rough right here. Had a lot of opportunity to break higher and then just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really tell what Palladium's doing here. Technically, maybe it's just retesting this consolidation area right here. So we'll move down here, bottom, consolidate a little bit, start to break out, push into this liquidity once again. Maybe we could continue. It's too soon to say. Well, we must not argue with the wisdom of the ancients. $1,000 is what we're looking for here for our buy zone. So we'll keep our eyes on this, but I think platinum looks pretty rough here on 3-day. on the daily, maybe we could move back up to the point of control again. We don't need to necessarily dump right away. These are, of course, commodities markets. They can take a while to make their moves. You can see why we're looking at this area right here. Very nice resistance level here that we've broken over. Why not retest it as support once more? $1,000. Well, I think it's hard to argue that oil's just going to go for it now. This looks like a pretty strong continuation signal. We started to get that exit signal, and then oil was like, nah. Nah. Yeah, we're holding the high. We may, if we close this high right here, I'd take it. I'd be willing to take oil here. Corn it looks like it's continuing to push up into resistance. I would be, it really looks like we're packing bags here for a short on corn. Natural gas moving up with oil today. Maybe natural gas is just going to go for it. Next resistance level would be around $3.50. Whoops.
Yep, top of that shoulder.
Right there. I like that.
Yep.
Shoulder here. Resistance here. Yeah, that works. $3.50. $3.46, but $3.50. Soybeans continue looking like a short. Maybe. We'll definitely need more convincing. Sugar appears to be slowly breaking above the weekly resistance right here. We close above it, and then we try and push below it for a week. Push, push, break above it, push, break back above it. Yeah, we seem to want to stay above 17.6 cents-ish. Oil again. Wheat looking a little weak here. These wicks are not inspiring very much confidence. Australian economy going for it. I guess there's just no arguing with it.
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
Yep. Well, originally I thought that Australian economy was going to be weak going into the winter, but as you pointed out last week, we looked up some of the economic news, and they're supposedly back to pre-pandemic levels in their economy. So, but some of that I think is probably their economy is not nearly as strong as their stock market, and the stock market is just now breaking above pre-pandemic levels. I think that's a lot what some of the articles are referring to, but nonetheless, the excitement's real, and the market's going up. French market's going up today. Hong Kong down. India giving us an exit signal. Japan still sideways. Netherlands gave us an exit signal yesterday. We're still trading next to it. Technically, we've got a continuation long signal that could be taken on Singapore 30. I can see an argument for at least taking it back towards resistance here. Taiwan, super ugly. Get out. Wow.
That looks like that swing on Bitcoin that we had when it broke on resistance, swung back up and failed at 59.
Yeah, man, this looks like AIDS. Get out. This is bad.
It's AIDS, folks.
Yeah. Look at that. Ugh. And it's such a good exit spot and a good short spot too. You got your stop on the other side of this, or you think about this like, okay, if we do break back above this area, then I'll just buy back in. But Resistance, 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 resistance. Take the hint. Get out. UK 10-year bonds look strong here on the 3-day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, ooh, even on the daily too. This looks very Wyckofian.
Yep, the last leg before the spring.
Yeah. Here we have this fake out lower. We recover, retest, 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 nothing. We move up. US 10-year breaking out over resistance. What'd you buy? TLT? You said you had your money in some bonds. What kind of bonds?
15 and 30.
15 and 30? Okay.
Mhm.
2-year, recovering some, still sideways. 5-year breaking out over resistance. Right here. NASDAQ, we looked at that already. As you guys know, we're right below this resistance level right here. Not a great look. Russell 2000, going for it. Seller's looking a little weak in this spot. Measured move has us looking for 24.90, if I recall correctly. S&P, we already looked at that. 30-year, it's breaking out.
Yay.
We see a very clean support resistance level. Support, breakdown, resistance, resistance, resistance. We don't even reach it here. And then whoop, up we just like pop like a shiny little plant in a field. Newly grown. There's us coming out over the resistance level. This looks a little inverse head and shouldery right here, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
Measured move of this would have us nice 2% move here on 30-year. I guess right here. Let's see what happens. Wall Street 30 here looks so bad. Get out. Just get out. I guess that means that so Wall Street 30 is representative of like several banks, like JP Morgan, Bank of America, yada yada yada. So if you look at if you're heavy in bank stocks, might be a good time to take a look at them at least. 10-year German Bund, looking good. All right, so bonds are looking strong and equities are looking weak, guys. And crypto, as we know, dumped. So the markets might be about to go risk off for a while. Maybe.
Get to the dollar.
I guess there's not really much more to say on the markets. We really need to break back up into this area to be safe here on lower time frames for Bitcoin. What's next? What's our request?
Let's do it, guys. We are running a little behind, but that's okay. We don't have a mountain of requests to deal with today, so we should be able to get to this next segment relatively quickly. In terms of chest, yeah, the chest is going to get opened in about 24 minutes. That's right, guys. I'm aiming for quarter to 3 Eastern where I am. Wait, stand by for that chest. Get your lemons in the meantime. You know how we do it here, guys. We are not lemon misers. We don't hoard the lemons. In fact, every lemon...
We just throw lemon parties.
Yes, we are famous for the lemon party bonanza. Top lemon party bros on DLive. Alright, before this gets any weirder, let's get into the next request. Don't forget to get to the... Yes, the first request, that's right. First request of the day. Yes, a little reminder to get to the dollar. Let me quickly hide this graphic and put the first request up on screen. Here we go. This first one is for David Rice on DLive. Can we look at ZIL, both USD and Bitcoin pairings, please?
Yeah, all right. Wish we, as far as lower time frames, wish we had a little bit more volume right here. So, right now we're hoping that we found some support right here, but I do think ultimately I'd like to see us trading back down near 7.5 cents. I would like to note here we did end up retesting this resistance level that I had marked out here for us before we dumped. So this area is kind of what we're targeting with potential for all the way to go down to 0.5 cent. You know, some things look like they want to bounce from this area. I'm not sure that ZIL is one of them. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, it's one of the few that seems to have actually got that test of that upper range, right?
Yeah. Kind of pegged it right up here.
That's what I was hoping for from Bitcoin. Did not get it.
Looks pretty bad. I think ZIL Bitcoin looking this bad explains why ZIL USD has so much further to fall to get to support level that I had marked out. So you see break up here. Let's go to a higher time frame so it's a little less, maybe, or a little more clear. Here's our uptrend. We break below it. We come back up and retest it, and also retest the baseline from below here. This is the 3-day baseline. What's this look like on the weekly? Move all the way up. Down. Yeah, I think I'd like to see ZIL Bitcoin come back down in this area. It looks strong for the long term. It feels like it's just slowly taking off. Like this is a reaccumulation right here. We push up, start to move up towards this heavy resistance level. So support here, resistance here, and we break down. We could trade some more sideways, but I think ZIL Bitcoin could keep going. What's next?
All right. Well, there was an extended look at Zilqa, both pairings. Excellent. Thank you to David Rice for that one. All right, let's move the memes aside. Get back into the request line. Here we go. We have Rhino TD. Can we take a look at gold and Brent crude, please? All right.
Hit him.
I guess we did both, in fact. Be sure to check out the video on demand replay for Alex's extended analysis of the wider markets. He did, in fact, look at gold and Brent crude already. We'll have a timestamp for that after the show. In the meantime, any word on DLive is next. He wants to look at Solana.
Already seems to be getting pretty bought up, doesn't it?
someone in the live chat mentioned just a few minutes ago that Exodus Wallet is offering 10% APR on staking your Solana balance. So there's that, gentlemen.
Okay. I guess at this point, on lower timeframes, it really looks like we have found some support in this spot. Seems like we're going to close it soon, in the next hour or so. I'll tell you what, if we can get back above the 4-hour baseline, because I'm not yet convinced, we could come up here, retest a little bit, and then retest our lows here on Solana. If we do hold this level, then I'd be looking to take it up into the 50s. So far, this is a very nice buyback on Solana. What's next?
All right, there is your look at Solana. Shoutouts to any word for that request. Here is the next one. This is a question coming in from, let me just rejig this on the screen, coming in from X Windor on YouTube. Does this represent a good buy opportunity as the dip we had a few weeks ago? Well, I mean, is this the same dip? Is it not? We did hit as low as 30K. So
Well,
I guess what he's asking is...
He means, are we going to like instantly bounce 50%? Probably not that quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Looks hella weak right now.
It's dangerous to assume things are going to play out the same way.
Yeah, it's a little too soon to say. I think that this is a dip that you can buy, as I stated throughout the show. But it's one you should approach really cautiously with a tight stop. I don't. It's not like as clear as this was, where we just got so offside. It's like, oh yeah, let's just buy here.
Exactly.
What's next?
All right. Shoutouts to Xwindor on YouTube for that one. Let's dive into the next request. It's Drip763 on Twitch, and he writes, chart request on Link, a double bottom break resistance and profit at $37. Okay.
I mean, maybe. I still see a lot of volume down here. I mean, if you can get some kind of reversal signal on, the 4-hour or something, you could consider taking it. But it's not guaranteed here. I would be cautious. Maybe you should just even wait until the daily gets back above the daily baseline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're pretty close to it. If we reverse here, we'll be back above it in no time, and you can still take it up to what, $35 or so. What's next?
All right, getting into the next request. Shoutouts to Drips on Twitch for a look at Link. Up next is Crypto Husao on DLive. Could I ask Alex to map out some resistance levels on VET if he hasn't done it yet? All right, yeah, let's take a look at VET. Some resistance levels requests for Alex.
What time frame?
Well, let's call it the daily.
Okay, well, resistance is up here for us around 13 and a half cents. And then presuming we get above that, we're looking at 18 cents. What's next?
All right, resistance levels mapped. Good luck dialing in the vectors on that approach. Mr. Husao getting into Charles Kumar as well as BK Fly 01. They got a request both for MATIC.
Well, this is going to do what everything else is doing, so maybe we can bounce from here, but I would be really, really cautious. So a lot of people bought this dip, and it's been sold into pretty hard, I think. So at this point, I would probably be looking for just to leave MATIC alone and try and pick it up down here near 50, 60 cents. What's next?
All right, there's your look at MATIC, guys. Appreciate those 2 requests. Let's look at this one. West Hammer on DLive writes, how does Ethereum Bitcoin pairing look like?
Well, I will ignore how ungrammatically correct that is. And I will just say Ethereum Bitcoin looks like bad. Yeah, we're getting an exit signal here on the daily, right as we touch the daily baseline. I would suggest that it's probably a sign you should get out.
All right, get out.
And this resistance level is this area right here. So we see this a lot. We see volume falling here on the weekly. So that tells me that you should probably be getting out for retest down here. Continuation eventually. What's next?
All right, 12 minutes to go until I crack open that chest for you guys. In the meantime, let's load it. The next request. This one comes from David Rice on DLive. Can we look at sushi?
Yes. It's been a while since someone asked about sushi. Oh, I can see why.
Mm-hmm. Kind of just slowly going down, right?
I just don't see any reason why you would want to be longing this area. It feels like haven't we rejected from this area enough times for you to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna lay sushi alone for a little while.
Certainly looks like better things out there.
Yeah, at this point, I would be waiting for some sort of higher time frame reversal signal, like even on the 3-day or week, anything. But no, this looks very bad right now. What's next?
All right, shout outs to Right on Rice for the sushi request. Let's have a look at this one. Profit Bear. Let's see if this. All right, good. Profit Bear, ICP USD. I personally want to buy at 30, but will it trace that low? Or is 70s the new bottom? I need your perspective for a better guess. Okay, so he's looking to scoop up ICP on a fat dip. How low is this sucker going to go?
I don't think we're gonna go as low as 30s. I don't really have any way to determine, how low things can go. If I did, I'd be a lot fucking richer. So,
ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So that's definitely not the right question to be asking, I think, in this point. We can do a trend-based fib extension. See where there are potential future support levels or what have you. Let's pop this on here. Right, top, bottom, top. All right, so if we consider this to be a continuing trend, then we would be looking at 65 here and 30 for the 50% area. I think I'm still looking for a return up into this area, but I don't know. This is kind of what we were looking for. We were talking about yesterday when I said that, basically if this area doesn't hold, then we would be looking for the bottom of this wick to be kind of taken out.
Mm-hmm.
which we did get. So that'd probably be the best way to approach it. Those areas that I had marked out for you, those would be good places to be buying. Essentially, if we don't, I would not buy right here. Either we head back into the 90s and recover back up near 100, which would maybe be a good time to be a buyer, or we fall further towards 60 or 30. But if I were you, I'd wait to see what happened. What's next?
There's your look at ICP. Try, best of luck, I guess I should say, catching that knife. Let's have a look at this next one. This one comes in from Mr. Ether, and he writes, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. If we continue to fall, which one would you hold? Not financial advice. I'm holding, and I want more Bitcoin. So I'm not sure. I think this is more of a general question to us as well as the other guys in the audience. What do you guys think? Ethereum, Bitcoin. If we continue to drop, which one would you rather be in if you had to hodl?
I mean, I hate this question because it totally depends on what time frame we're talking about, how long you're hodling, when you bought, and just, yeah. So I don't think there's a good answer for you. Clearly, in the short term, Ethereum Bitcoin is falling. You know, I pointed out that Ethereum Bitcoin looks weak, right? So Ethereum and Bitcoin is going to fall against Bitcoin over the next few weeks, but I think over the next few months, Ethereum will continue to appreciate against Bitcoin. So I don't know, man. If you want to try and manage this quote-unquote long-term investment of yours continually over the next few weeks, then you could sell Ethereum right now into Bitcoin, and then after that falls, you can sell the Bitcoin back into Ethereum, and then hope that Ethereum Bitcoin continues rising like I say it's going to. Or if you're looking for probably the long term towards the end of the bull market, most likely because Ethereum Bitcoin is going to go up in the long term, you just leave it as Ethereum. Or what's probably going to happen is if you trade it too much, you're just going to lose it. So yeah. If you have a long term thesis, do the long term thesis. If you're going to trade, then trade. But yeah, don't get them mixed up.
Good. Jason, you gotta pick one over the other for your hodl if you had to.
Considering that I just used the BTC perp swap, I am still in BTC, just hedged. So I'm trying to accumulate Bitcoin on the way down.
Indeed. Personally, yeah. I think I'd be in it for the Bitcoin. I'd be hodling Bitcoin on the way down. Premises question, of course. If we continue to fall, I think I prefer to be in Bitcoin. I mean, I do think back to the last bear market we have. I felt like Ethereum got absolutely decimated. I felt like things were practically hopeless for Ethereum at the lows. Whereas Bitcoin still had a charm, still had a utility, you know, because if we continue to fall and say, like, you know, the air gets let out of the DeFi balloon and the bull market's over, all the retail euphoria around fat gains, especially in DeFi, especially with Uniswap, you know, all that evaporates, and so does demand for Ethereum itself to some degree. So I guess what I'm saying is if we are in the depths and the throes of a horrible bear market, I'd rather be in Bitcoin. I think Ethereum and its utility suffers even more in those types of scenarios. But I guess we're going to find out. There is your question, Mr. Ether. I'm going to read a few comments in a bit to see if anybody has any thoughts on that themselves. David Rice, if there's time, could you look at Cardano USDT for 3.5 minutes for the chest?
It looks bad. I said it looked bad yesterday, and it looks bad today still. So I wouldn't do anything with it. What's next?
All right, nothing doing on Cardano. Let's have a look at this next request. Bob the Builder on YouTube writes, Ethereum USD on Bybit daily.
I did hear him at the start of the show.
All right, indeed he did, Bob the Builder, but Bob the Builder merely commenting that it looks ripe for a short. If you do check the replay and the timestamp for Ethereum USD, Might find some confluence there. Let's get into, well, apparently is the final request for now at least. Rot died on DLive. Can we look at Curve Bitcoin and Curve USD, please? CRV.
If Curve gave a continuation signal here, I'd be interested in taking it, but there's nothing we can do with it right now. And then, you know, Curve looks like AIDS like the rest of the market right at this time. If it gave a continuation signal, we could take it, but nothing to do with it right now. This is a support level, though. So support here. And here we are. So it could be support again. We're still above the daily baseline, too. So this is something that if the market turned, we could long it, but it hasn't yet. So don't do anything. What's next?
All right. How are we doing on time? When do I need to open that chest? Minute and a half to go. In the meantime, I got a few more requests coming in now. Let me just paste these in. All right. This one's from Tricon32. Can you look at Raven? He asks.
This shitcoin, what's it doing?
Slowly breaking down.
Well, I mean, I do see some support in this area. You know, if Bitcoin bounces here, everything could bounce. I just don't know. You know, we'll find out in a few hours. Like as I said at the beginning of the show, I think maybe we're bouncing from this spot, but it's just impossible to tell until it does the thing. So yeah, if the rest of the market bounces, then Raven coin can bounce here too. And in that case, I'd be looking for like a retest of 12.5 cents. Some up in this area.
Excellent. All right, 20 seconds to go for the reward distribution. I just dropped some lemons into the chest, guys. That's right. Your boy Jack has got the keys to the lemon chest this week. It's going to be a very generous giveaway throughout the course of this week, maybe even to the next one. We'll see. Let's open the chest right now. Here we go. Gonna hit distribute rewards. And bada boom. Make sure you click.
Get your lemon, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Now I'm going to try and collect them myself on my other device because I'm not logged in. Come on, how do I just... Damn it, how does this work on mobile? Alright, maybe I won't be able to get my hands on these.
Mobile.
Yeah, I'm logged in on the one here using the admin account in order to distribute the lemons, but I was hoping to actually snag a few of these. Sadly, this isn't going to happen. All right.
I saw Rhino TD dropping a single lemon a couple times yesterday. Careful,
Well,
buddy. We're going to think the Turks took you over.
Yeah, be careful how you try to game the system. But with that said, guys, there we go. Lemons, 566 lemons given away today. Of course, David Rice in first place, coming in with 105 lemons. Crypto Bull with 60 lemons. Rhino TD, 44 lemons. Anyword, 35. And Crypto Husao with 29.7 lemons. All right, excellent. Congrats, guys. Big giveaway day for everybody in the live chat. Much thanks. We just got a diamond in from Mr. Ether, the ever so generous Mr. Ether. Can't thank you enough for that. All your donations, guys, pretty much go right back in the pot and help us, allow us to give away even more lemons on a regular basis. I miss the drop whenever I give, usually, says Guardian. Yes, that's highly unfortunate. I know how that goes. Sometimes the prompt doesn't appear, or you're kind of late to it. It happens. Although generally I think the algorithm notices that, and when you do finally successfully claim, you get a bit more lemons to make up for the previous watching and interaction. But thank you guys for your lemons, I guess. Let's get into this next part. So we've looked at Raven, and let me see if I can trudge up another request or so from the live chat.
Hey, good news, guys.
What's up?
Bitcoin broke back up into the previous trading range. I think we might have formed a short-term bottom here.
Yeah, I was watching that right now. 32.5 and climbing. Go, Bitcoin, go. Maximum fear had set in. Are we ready to rocket up? At least on the lower time frame, looks like we are. Let's.
I'd be happy if it limped up. Just the upwards direction is fine.
Just go up.
Yeah.
I want to see like an explosive rally. I want something that really gets the FOMO juices flowing. You know, I want us to be at 39 pushing 40 in a blink of an eye, and everybody like, oh my god, I literally just sold the third bottom at 30k. Oh, it's, you know, I want the FOMO to kick in the 40s, and then maybe a nice flush at some point there, and then of course Q3, Q4, all-time highs. Yes, that's the thesis. All right, do I have any other requests here? Polkadot, I guess. Let's take this one from RJ Jamal, requesting Polkadot, I suppose. You got exclamation marks and question marks, so you're pretty pronounced request for dot. Not sure if this was a question for Polkadot, but let's do it.
Well, right now we are testing resistance as support. So let's go to a slightly higher time frame. Too high. Perfect. So here we have resistance. Resistance, resistance here. Break. We test the point of control here as support. And now we are perhaps finding some support at this resistance level. As you can see on the daily, we're currently above this level. If we closed above it, that would be ideal. So we want to reject from the support. We want to go up. Right now, there's nothing you can really do with DOT. But it should give a nice initial long signal if we do break up here. WADA looks ready to roll over, and time transformation too. I think would be react fairly quickly if we did move up. We'll see what happens. I still see some support levels at $18 and $16.50. So if we do break down from here even further, that's where I'd be looking to pick up more. What's next?
All right, next one up in the closing minutes. We have this one coming in from Rolo Maximus. Hey, senseis, how about Kusama? Or I think this is LYXE. LYXE is LYXE, isn't it?
Yeah, that's LYXE.
All right, let's look at Kusama and LYXE.
I would classify Kusama as just right at resistance. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything with it here in this spot. I know a lot of people are super convinced that because parachain auctions are happening that Kusama is just maybe going to keep marching upwards. But I don't see Kusama diverging from the market here. As a matter of fact, if I were a big entity and I knew that I wanted to grab stuff for parachain auctions, I would do my damnedest to make sure the Kusama price collapsed so I could do that. Yeah, so this is a resistance level that we've been eyeing. We're at that resistance level. You know, I'll admit there's some nice volume up here around $550. We've tapped this area a couple times, but if we moved up and tapped it again, I would still consider us to... We'd be able to be... This could still be a topping pattern for us, but one way or another, nothing for us to do right now. What's next?
All right, that was LYXE and Hex, or Huxo.
No, that was Kusama.
All right, let's look at LYXE.
It's maybe not bad. Let me fix this just a little bit. There we go. Interesting. Support here, support here. I think this is a good buy zone for LYXE right now. We have this break of the long-term descending wedge. This is this is several months here. If we drew this as a weekly trend line, then arguably this is not broken. Let's go to line mode here.
Not quite yet.
No, you know what? It still is. Okay. Well, I guess there's just really no reason to be complaining here. We do seem to have, let's see, the 3-day. Yeah, okay. I would be a buyer as we pushed into the $5 area. This is a decent area to be buying, but we could break back in. And where would we test as low as? What would be something really shitty?
Yeah,
$2. I like $2. So if the market continues to take a downturn and somehow this area doesn't hold, this is the area I'd be looking for right here.
All right, there is your LYXE buying opportunity potentially coming up.
Yeah.
As Bricks in the live chat writes, LYXE is now available on Carbon Swap. That's right, guys. Energy Web Token has its own DEX, and you can find LYXE on there. LYXE, whatever. Let's have a look at the final request of the day. We're going to move to wrap shortly. Also going to scroll back up and read what everyone's pick was: Ethereum or Bitcoin for the meltdown hodl. In the meantime, let's check out Mr. Ether's request. This is the last one for today, guys. Since we're heavy on all this extra time, can we look at Hex, he asks. Sure. Last request of the day will be Hex for Mr. Ether.
Excellent.
I hope you are continuing to heed my advice to get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
This continues to look weak. As you can see, we've long since crossed below the daily baseline and continue to push volume up into this resistance level. I just don't like it, man. I don't like it. You know, before, my contention was that regardless of how good the chart looked, Hex sucked. But now the chart looks really bad here. So, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, there's a lot of price absorption there. People getting out of their bags.
I think so. Because we don't have any of these wicks like downwards. It's we've got a few here, and we did move up after that. But
Way more.
If it's just like volatility, where's all the wicks to the downside? They're not here. They're all to the upside. What's next?
That was actually the last request. We're going to scroll up here and read a couple comments before we move to wrap. We only got about 3.5 minutes left in the show. We had a great one today, guys. I do appreciate the requests that came in today. I never object to having a slightly later day on the request front. We've certainly, man, we've come such a long way from the early days of the Breaking Bitcoin Market update. Barely got a few requests in most days, and now look at us. You got the machine gun of request lines here, and Alex just chews through it. So thank you kindly to Alex, and of course Jason hanging in there in the background as well. Let's see. Yeah, Bitcoin's still moving 32.7 and climbing. Let's have a look here. All right, I've got this moved. Let me hide this off the screen and head into the outro sequence here. All right, let's have a look. Electric. All right, so someone wrote earlier that they are an Oregonian, and Electric noted that wasn't there some kind of move to leave Oregon? Yes, actually, I read that too. Yeah, Electric writes, wasn't there something about Oregon giving some land over to Idaho? It was, I think, a bunch of counties.
It was a bunch of white supremacists out.
Whoa.
You know, FYI, I mean, there's a reason they want to secede, and yeah.
So therefore white supremacy.
I don't see how it would work, because they would cease getting state funds at that point, which means the towns would have to fund everything on their own, and it's not so simple to just join Idaho. You'd have to lobby for that in Congress, which means those counties would have to hire their own lobbyists, which seems kind of hard because, again, they're not getting any state funds anymore.
Yeah, it's certainly a political topic we're not going to get too far into, but indeed, just to clarify, that's what it was. Several counties voting for at least a desire to secede. There you go. Let's have a look here. Mr. Ether says he sold half of his liquid hex. Okay, so he must have taken you up on some of the advice.
I imagine because hex is like one of those certificate deposits. It's like staked long term. There's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, a lot of it's locked up. I think cutting off your stake early results in fat penalties. Let's have a look here. And I'm going to read a couple comments. I'm very curious about the choice between hodling Bitcoin or Ethereum. Let me just scroll up very briefly. Hang tight with me here. Here we go. We have let's see here. I think I finally found it. Guardian says both. I guess these are the two king cryptos. It probably pays to hold both on the way down, but or accumulate, of course, however you look at it. But the question was, do you prefer the Bitcoin or the Ethereum in it? CryptoBull says, I want both. Okay, everybody wants to hold both on the way down. CryptoBull says, I don't sell my Ethereum or Bitcoin at any loss, at any cost, I guess. I'd rather hold Bitcoin than Ethereum, honestly, says Rolo Maximus. Ethereum's not done yet, says CryptoBull. Anyword says, I'd rather have YFI than Ethereum. Whoa. YFI really has carved out a niche for itself. Guardian says, hodling Bitcoin, ETH, I am mining. There you go. So mining the ETH all the way down. Bitcoin's the hold. Let's see here. Just a drop. Me too. All right. I think that's about it for the poll. Someone's saying they got a Bitcoin ATM near them they can buy the dip at. Well then, no ID required ATM in your town. That is nice, but remember the fees at those. The markup is crazy. You're paying like 10, 15, sometimes as much as 20% over spot price to get your ID-free cash in Bitcoin. But hey, I guess that's some people are more than willing to pay that premium to get their BTC. All right, what else do we have left for today? I think that's about it. Yeah, Bitcoin currently 32.7. Let's move to wind things down. Still a reminder at everybody, check out premium.cracking.cryptocurrency.com. If you like what we do here, if you want to learn how to trade like a professional, if you want to learn how to build your own system for trading, you can do that by checking out premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com and our Pathways to Profit course. We got a lot of supplemental material on there, including, well, you get access to the indicators, the indicator suite, signals, the mentorship sessions, a lot more available in the different premium packages. I do urge you to check that out, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Even if you're an existing trader in the space, you could benefit a lot by, you know, learning. What's up?
Yeah, also make sure to like us on YouTube, follow us on DLive, and I guess wave hello to us on Twitch. You use your Amazon Prime subscription. Amazon Prime free subscription.
That's for US only Prime members, I will add. But yes, indeed, use your Prime subscription if you had it. Boost us on Twitch, hit the like, leave a comment. Comments are great, guys. It does help as well. Now that we're back on YouTube, you're more than welcome to drop your comments in there. Be sure to follow us on Discord, discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. Join the leading Discord cryptocurrency server for traders out there. This isn't a pump and dump or some lame-o crypto group. We're doing it for real guys here. Professionals and high-quality people generally come through here. Don't want to be left out. Alright guys, thank you so much. I see a lot of thank yous coming into the live chat. I do appreciate it all. Much love to you guys. It's time to wrap though. Final words to our analysts.
Trade safely, guys. If you've got a system, you should probably be following it. It's really difficult to tell what the market's doing in this spot. As you guys have seen, you know, it's been kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, I mean, same for me in terms of the signals that I've put out lately. I've been getting kind of chopped up here, but it's part of it, right? That's why we manage our risk. That's why we take all the steps necessary to make sure that when things do go against us, we're not getting completely destroyed, right? So just make sure you're trading safely.
Indeed, helps when you're positioned correctly ahead of the big moves. And of course, if you've been following us for the last few weeks and months, we certainly hope you've heeded the macro analysis, and I imagine you're not hurting as much as others are during this difficult period. But alas, we gotta go. We'll be here to emotionally support you, all traders, all losing investors, tomorrow for the Wednesday market update. And like I said, catch us in the Discord. We're always there if you need a hand. Peace out, homies. We're out.
See you tomorrow.